Here we are, supposed to have a smile on my face. It's amazing when you're really, if it's channeling or really on it, all the things that aspire to come in to shift you out of that. You know, the biggest thing I found was it's a force of energy, like a child coming in closest to God, and we shut them down. I can show you how we shut them down, the most even aware of a person. I can show you how we shut them down unless we've really done the work and cleared our trauma, because that energy, everything's energy, is just there with the child, and it's just oozing out of them. And then if we haven't cleared our vehicle, our vessel, it's bringing light to your dark, your light to the shadow. You know, so we have a beautiful opportunity to work with our children. You know, the children are our gurus, etc., etc. Yeah, I've heard it all before. However, you're not seeing how you have already imprinted them and programmed them. So the force, that energy, whoa, what can I say? And then what happens is someone animates it off now, and it triggers everyone again, because they have a stagnant frequency, constipated frequency. It's like it's just not oscillating, you know. Jin Shin, up the back, down the front, up the back, down the front, and there's many interpretations. So the more we can get to that, the more I would say we are the theory closest coming from the heart, more connected. You know, we talk and talk, philosophize how this is, what's it about, what's God, coming from the heart. And then we have children bouncing around us, and then they're bouncing around, but there we are, engaged in our mind, in our already programmed, institutionalized, boxed mind. And there's God's running around us, still taken out a little bit, but closest to God. So what can I say about that? So come on, wake up, people. And how do you get back to that? Purify the body, you know. Ultimately, energy. We can bypass it. We can kid ourselves till a cow comes home. Cows come home. So it's just like, it's simple. Unfortunately, hardly any of us know, you know, why the tribes, why the indigenous got taken out. The most compassionate, the most connected. Yes, they may have certain things that we all may or not agree with. However, connected, you know, communicating with the trees, communicating with the plants. You know, we're so lost. And then we feel sorry for potential third world countries. We feel sorry because the people haven't got what we got. It's the other way around. They got more connection. We've just been spoon-fed trickery, nonsense, false beliefs, addiction, big car, big money. Yo, when I get my van, when I get my house, when I get my land, but you still taking your sad, generally constipated frequency there. So wherever you go, you meet yourself. So it's really wise. This is the time, map times, the wane of the heart times. You know, it's the time, you know, Christ returning, the sun animating certain activations, certain rays. It's here. And whoever wants to jump on the ark, whoever wants to jump on the Zion train, that's up to you. There was a great one by Alan Watt. Apparently, did you know? I didn't even know. He was an alcoholic, and I remember my son saying that. And I'm like, no, my son's 38, by the way. And my other son's 37. All beautiful, amazing kids. Men. And I said, no way. I said, did you know Wim Hof has a problem with that as well? It's like, wow. So, you know, big heart goes out to these people. However, you know, to me, that's taken out. But he did a great one. He does some great one, Alan Watt. And, you know, just imagine you come back and you choose, and then it gets boring. So you choose, warrior, you choose this, you choose that, and then you choose to really forget to see if you can come out of your forgetfulness. Very great and very sweet. Who knows? Who knows? However, is he being used to get us? As far as I'm concerned, anyone out there anyway, really is, and even me. The clearer we are, the clearer we get in the message. And really, we wouldn't even play around in this realm, this medium realm. However, we aspire to use it for our positivity, sharing our positivity. That if we aren't there, who is there? You would be horrified. It's like they live. If we all had them glasses, that's what's occurring. It's just like I mentioned a while ago. It's just like 17 years, really dropping deep. I attempted when I was, say, 28 years before that, or 25 years before that. Anyway, when I was 17, 18. And then, wake up call, had no choice, shown I'll be gone in that year. So I chose to be around longer. And I used to see loads of things when I was younger. So we've got to venture into these realms which aren't held. You see the darker realms. So we're freaked out, we're petrified, like Monster Inc. It's a classic, really. It's all there. Harry Potter. How did the Death Eaters get us? How did they take us to the wizards and I'm going to say the Emperor and Kings? They take us out by many methods. Mainly trauma. Mainly trauma. Only trauma with the Death Eaters. So they go in, find your little bit. Boom, there you are. When you was beaten, when you was this. Oh, it can be mild, but it still has the same intensity on your system shock, No, in astrology, regardless, you're going to find something to stick on the world, stick on this reality. Let's just say that's your karma. Best we just get over it, move on in and out of it the quickest we can. Let's not mess around. If you only kind of, I could say, knew what I knew, but yeah, I'm going to say that. Oh, that's your ego. Well, projecting, it's like we're not allowed to say anything. We talk about MK Ultra. You're in MK Ultra, we are there. We talk about AI, we are already AI. So we're freaking out about ourselves. I remember some friends, over years and years, we had some great discourses, conversations, truthisations. And then because he's having difficulty with himself, he stuck my reply into an AI. As far as I'm concerned, that reply was like interpreting a real muggle, referring to A. And it's like, so as far as I'm concerned, if we open, we have a library of information, the Akashic records, clairvoyant, clairaudient, medium, and it's just like I say, people, I just keep my phone down, because it's busy out there. And then there's lots of hijacking going on, and you really got to have your vessel clear. Otherwise, you're just being used. You're being used to kind of keep comforting yourself, comforting other people. So you don't have to go deeper into your trauma. All I can do for you is keep working on myself. All you can do for me is keep working on yourself. So I recognized, we've realized 17 years ago, I was shown certified in Shinjitsu. People say you make a killing in Brighton. That's where I was. And it's like, well, I wouldn't want to make a killing, but that is actually the term we are all doing. We're making killings. Therapists, the rapists, whatever we want to call and label ourselves. I was shown then it's not the time. The time is you, us, all need to be individually accountable. All need to take responsibility. The more we've worked on ourselves, we can share authentic information, but just be the example where people can just feel the example, like the child. No matter how much you intellectualize, give them your bullshit academia, the most whatever theory you may believe, as opposed to just dropping in and being, we've been so conned, we don't realize we've sold out wisdom for academia, you know. Oh, we've been conned, dumbed down. So time for some to wake up. Maybe time for not. If we didn't have the more asleep, more awake, and many more awake than I, then we wouldn't know duality, would we? We would just be, that would be boring actually. So, podcast first night, I'm going to call it. Great. Thank you, Dory. Really love how you direct. Lisa and Herb. Great. I loved it. Embraced it. Got to switch that, love. But you know, love is interesting. What do you mean I don't love? I love. Well, you know, 100% truth. I'm going to share you my truth. Dory shares her truth. The most wisest of ones, Buddha, Jesus, whatever, share a very similar ethos. And it does come down to that. If we haven't really internalized the love for ourselves by our actions, then we're talking rubbish, man. If we still haven't cleaned, anything comes out of us is contaminated. So there's a hint of truth. We get this truth, last 7 years, we want to get land, Everyone wants to get land. Everyone could do with getting back in their body. You're reading it wrong. That's what's important. You got distracted again, carrot. Let's get in our body, even back were we ever in. Shock from the beginning. Some people shock from the womb and knowing whether it's knowing or it just is, cannot come in till maybe they can keep trying. Bang, wake up, bang, wake up, bang, wake up. Accident after accident, members of your family dying, sacrificing, as far as I see, for you to wake up. That's what I see, And it's just like, come on, all you needed to do is wake up, and then he or she maybe didn't have to go. It's so beautiful. I've been shown that from my sisters, my mum, and just through whoever name you want to name it, if it's one entity or a collective. We have access to this, the record, the library. So that was long. So I wanted to go and mention about this dehydrator, solar dehydrator. The sun's coming back round again. This is going to be the meal today. This is supposed to be what I eat in the day. I digest all that in the day. All that what I just shared just goes through me daily. It's no big deal. People might think, wow, you don't have to go on, Pete. You're so much in your mind. I'm on my computer and then I'm off. I'm on my computer, then I'm off. So after this, I'm off. Simple. I've learned that. So what we have, some burgers. They're all right. I'm going to let my partner just jump in and say what they are.
That's beetroot, courgette from the garden, sprouted activated sunflower seeds, garden mix, seaweed, kimchi from the garden. Then we've got a kale, chard, spinach, massaged in homemade tahini, crispy in the garden. Got some nasturtium leaves there.
Look at that. That's the smell of that is just like, oh my gosh. And we've been drying out borage, we've been drying out dandelion, we've been drying out nettle, we've been drying out the nasturtiums and making like a spicy peppery mix with the nasturtiums. A little bit strong for me, but nice, And then drying out the papaya seeds. It's another pepper substitute. So, yeah, I mean, it's amazing. We're going to get little Baba back on her seat. Right, there's the water. Yeah. Go on then. And then, this is going to be, we say what I eat in a day. So, digest the sun. Not bare feet at the moment, but I'd be barefoot. In my creativity, playing around with making we have a metal seesaw. So let's just talk about this now. What are you going to do when the sun goes, Pete? Okay, infrared. I'm going to put a little heat fan in the back anyway. or we would regulate it by this. And then maybe even a thermostat, when it goes up to a certain temperature, it will kick in and switch the switch off. What are you going to do when electric goes down, Pete? Well, like I've done in the past, you just put a pipe, let's just say a little burner, pipe going through, and then the heat that comes off the pipe, rocket stove, whatever, heats it. What are you going to do if you don't get in it? If there's any wood, whatever. I mean, we can go on and go on. You know, I found, anyway, that's another thing. So electricity goes out, sun goes, we got it covered. And then this system I showed last time, hang on a little bit. I know I'm going on a bit. So this was great. This is a bit small. I'm going to upgrade to this one. Well, not upgrade. We're going to have this one as well. We're going to have this for like the youth. Got to keep thinking about the youth, the young ones. We all get so busy with our traumatized child, neediness. And then look at this little small one. She's loving it. But it's not done yet. So I'm going to make a design like that with a smoothie on the front. So kids can really enjoy it, you know. When I was down my sons and the grandkids, every time they just, can I make a juice for you? Can I make a juice for you? I think it only comes out when I'm there, but it's cool. It's great. It's amazing. And bringing a different reality. So just how I started, it was like, yeah, so when you get in that source, it triggers the backside out of everyone, because it's like electricity, and it's just like, and then they project, you know, we're all projecting. So the more, let's just say, the crap out of the way, we can see more clearly, we can interpret, and just be more the witness. You can never be here now, never be the witness when you've got all this garbage, you know. So the thing is, clean, detox. And whoever finds this triggering too much, go and watch go and watch EastEnders. I used to watch that, you know, or Coronation Street, or My Era, whatever. And can you imagine My Era, Love Thy Neighbour, Alf Garnett, Black and White Minstrels? Oh my gosh. What some of us had to defrag, many haven't. It's sort of installed in us. You know, defrag, get rid of the viruses. Hang on, Baba, not much longer. So, get sustainable, govern yourself. And I mentioned about, well, you know, no one really governs me. I want to be, I choose to be, am more sustainable. Yeah, there may be still bits I'm sorting out. What about this? What about that? Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah. However, look, let's say I'm 80% there. We all do our bit. Don't give yourself a hard time. Let's just become in our bodies. So I was saying, yes, so let's go back to that frequency. So people, it is like the Matrix. People aren't in their bodies, so these entities jump in to try and take, their job is to try and take anyone else out, showing a bit of the true one master. You can only serve one master. But the master has his son here now. His son is back to support the ones who have a bit of a clue and who've done the work. You know, and it's just like, oh, you've done the work. It's not about doing the work. It's just like, I wanted to live. How do you just sustain raw for so long, Pete? It's just like, well, I had my Jin Shin practice. It could be yoga, could be whatever else. And I had a craving, and I'd do my Jin Shin, and my dream state was really good. You know, 20 odd years before that, I did a few years and really got connected with my dreams. So there I am, this craving chips maybe, and boom, 7. There I am scooping out some milk in a gutter, and then my stepdad up the top laughing because I knocked the pint of milk over. Boom, that was a scar. So obviously that traumatized me. And then boom, another time, 3, totally forgot that, you know, this more sexual type of abuse from another stepdad, you know, the way he punished me. It's just like, whoa, boom, another time. getting beat, beat one brother or the other brother, you know, but you know, saying that, I don't blame anyone. You know, the perverted stepdad, you know, do I need to forgive everyone or whatever? I'm just not giving it any time. You know, however, my brothers, it's like we was all in the same boat, man, and that was a rocky boat. So all I got is love and compassion for them. And I was a strong spirit, you know, or a wild spirit. So, yeah, first day at school, got caned, ran away. No, I ran away and they got me and they gave me the cane. I was just truanting at 5, you know, so I was a wild kid. Anyway, so we're going back to, we are doing such a disservice to everyone, our friends and our children, if we don't work on ourselves. And, you know, what do you mean, Pete? My kids are fine, I'm fine. And then that's fine. Then just go and do your normal thing. And this is, you know, only for ears who may be open to it or who may just happen to stumble across this. You know, not deaf ears really. And that's fine. And it's, you know, me, I've been all that. Still am that to many other people on different levels. To women giving birth, it's just like, it's probably quite a blank. You know, respect to the woman, respect to all of us, but especially the woman. But a woman in there connected, you know, not the pretentious type of woman, you know. You know, don't come and tell me you're a woman or a man with all this still stagnant nonsense going on. All these programs, sexual programs, and trying to project it onto everyone else. Well, actually, a lot, 90 odd people are in that, but not everyone is. Money, chasing money. There's a great one with money, heart problems. You know, when you're chasing money, you know, that's Louise Hayes. Rash, seeking attention, childish attention. But we're all there, see, we're all on both of them. So, you know, maybe 5% aren't. So when you connect, that gives you faith, that gives you trust, that gives you knowing where home is. You can't get too distracted. You know, knowing who your mum is, even, but we don't because our mum parents were never really there, never really connected. And there was a great series on, let's just say, things that are brought to the podcast. The Dory has some great methods, great protocols. Last night it was more to do with the yoga and let's just say some of the scriptures within yoga. Lots of beautiful stuff are coming from Japan. I looked at something the other day. This couple was giving birth in Japan. They could not believe it. I'll have to try and find it and put it on my post. Could not believe it. The care was unbelievable. You know, they 100% avoid any drugs because they tell you how harmful it is for the woman. Cesarean, they don't do that either. Or if it's a real emergency. One other thing is, yes, what did I do? I did a couple of other posts. One with Iris Lapham. Iris Lapham. Sure, that's his name. Apologies, Iris. Love, love, love. There's only love for you. 77, and he's getting, I'm going to say, pissed. Look, 77. I can do that, he says. I can climb coconut trees. He says people half my age, people in their 20s can't even do that. You know, the woman's going, you can try climb coconut trees? Yeah, I can. I'm 62 and I can do that. I can go down, you know, and bounce and bounce. I learned that, but we learned that from my daughter. And up. Yeah, that's it. Go on then. So, you know, what's happening? Us elders say, you know, that can be loaded. It's all time. So I don't want to buy into that too much. Are outdoing our grandchildren, really. Children, grandchildren. You know, I'm going to be, well, however long I will choose to be here, I'm going to be in life. That's the thing. Whatever happens, get into life. It's like get your spirit, get you, the old you out the way, the old, whether John, Harry, Simon, Russell, whoever it is, Glennie, John, I don't know, Karen, Maxine, blah, 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 Hannah, whatever, get the old out the way so the new can come in, you know? And all this different dogma, religions, and cultures, they're all majority being contaminated by the Western English, Christianity, etc. You know the Buddha, the Guru, Jesus. You know, didn't agree with big buildings and playing in the game of the money. You know, that's not what they wanted. So we've covered it. Become self-sustainable. Govern yourself. Why would I want any other person to govern me when you see them contaminated? They have a whole host of entities, you know, guiding down the wrong way, aiding and abetting with all this madness of the money. Oh, I won't even go into that. Anyway, positive. That's their story. That's their need. That's their karma. That's their path. Shift your path. Shift your reality. Shift your your perception. Just like you go and have a rest. You go to a restaurant. You have a breakfast. Whatever it is, we can choose many. Choose the best. Keep choosing the best. Keep choosing the best. Keep choosing the best. Research to know what the best is, and then you become the best. You become at one with it. But get away from the process. Get away from the dairy. Bone broth. Bone broth. Bone broth. Oh my gosh, that's a big spell. Get away. We worship the cow, and then you're having bone broth. We love the cat and dog, but you're having chicken or goat or whatever. Yeah, I'm having my meat. You're caught up in the more darker, lower realm, satanic stuff. They're words, but let's just say we need the light to come through that. I was there, but if I didn't know that, I would never come through the tunnel. Not saying I'm in light, it's just like, okay, I see both. I'm just going to be zero. Yeah, I see it, but I'm not puppeteered. We come in as our birthright. You can see how so much of our rites of passage have been taken away from us. No wonder we need to do soul retrieval. No wonder we need to have all these men groups, women groups. However, I look at them and no one is, when I say no one, it's a bit presumptuous, could possibly only witness 1 or 2 out of 10 is going deeper. Other than that, it's like giving each other lollipops. Okay, you're working with infants. Okay, you've just managed to go into junior, and then you're holding spaces. Anyway, and then we run. If we don't sort out our inner child, we're always needy. Why do you need to take that role? I'm going to end it there because I'm going to show you the meal next. Love.